Yo, welcome back to my channel. In case you don't know who I am, my name's Tristan Steckler, and I've closed a little over $7 million in high ticket sales in about 4 years. Today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to build urgency with your prospects. This is going to be a one-on-one that I'm doing with one of my clients named Joel. He is selling for a biz op offer, so make money online, teaching people how to quit a 9 to 5 job and get into tech sales. This call, if you're willing to actually sit through it, listen to the material, the frameworks that I'm giving, the feedback that I'm getting about the mindset, about overcoming limiting beliefs, about being able to pre-handle certain objections that may come up at the end of the call in regards to fear of themselves, fear of investing in themselves. This call will be transformative in your sales process. Less than 1% of people who are actually watching this video are going to watch it in full. If you do, you're going to get a lot out of it. If you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, dude, I got freaking 4 grand and like a little over 4 grand coming in terms of commission from 2 days, bro.
That's
It's
insane, dude.
insane. It's
That's insane.
more than I ever made in a month last year.
Bro,
Wow.
that's fire, dude. I
Yeah.
love that. Love
At
it.
the end of this month, bro, as long as it's another 10K month, I will have made more than I made the entire year last year
Dude.
in 4 months.
Yeah, not many 18-year-olds can say that, bro.
Yeah, it's wild. I made 30 grand this year already. Insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I'm blown away.
I'm telling you, you continue to lean in and do the work, invest in yourself, master these skills. When you're my age, bro, like you're going to be in a really, really good spot. Okay, let's do it. This guy's got the same last name as Jack.
Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that's
Same,
nice.
same lettering and all that. One thing that I
I was
just
also
thought of, freaking left my phone upstairs, but one thing I just thought of was the fact that one thing I'm struggling with, and this is probably something we'll figure out on the call, is I've had people start to get annoyed at the questions I'm asking. They're like, "Oh, we're running in circles," and I even hit him with the analogy with this one guy twice. And both my calls yesterday messaged Jack, and one of them just simply said, "Pain funnel needs work." And the other one said a more detailed thing. Is like, I felt like we were running in circles. Like, I respect Joel and I respect his job and what he was doing. And Jack responded, and he was like, "It's like on one hand, like these questions are important, but at the same time, I was kind of rusty." So,
Okay.
yeah,
If it becomes a recurring thing where it's like you take 5 calls and 2 out of 5 are saying it, then it's something that you would want to make adjustments on, maybe shift some things. But if it's like
hmm
a one-off, like once a week, twice a week, it's not a big deal at all.
yeah. This is the only time. This is only like the second or third time someone's messaged Jack about any of my calls. And so it was just two in a row, and it kind of threw me off.
The thing that you want to take from it is they don't feel like they're being heard or they feel like they're having to repeat
Yeah,
themselves. So the
yeah. I was
better
having
that
a
we
hard
can
time
get
with that.
at the framework, and that just comes with time and rep, the better you get the framework where you've mastered it, the more you're listening to the person, you're not going to run into those issues.
hmm
It's compound interest. So the work that you're doing, the calls that you're taking, the reviews that you're hopping on, that's what makes a difference.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. 100%. Fully agree.
All right, let's watch.
Texas. Yeah. Good for you, man. You still good for the full 60 minutes? Yeah, let's go. So, did you get the chance to watch that video that I sent over that covers exactly how Jack helps people? I did. By the way, if my voice sounds off, I'm recovering from the flu last week. I don't know if you're one of the calls I had to reschedule last week with you. Nope, I wasn't. I'm fresh. I had to reschedule you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I had to reschedule all calls last week. All right, man. What were your thoughts on the video? It was, kind of on par for what I was expecting a little bit. Right. I think for the most part, I was dabbling in just the school curriculum for a little bit. Okay. And to be completely honest, I was going through that and started not half-heartedly applying. I just, I think I've been going through some decisions the last several months of exactly what direction I'd like to head. And that being said, I did get some interviews, but they're mainly for like high-ticket closing positions, which to be honest is kind of where I would like to end up. Okay. I don't know, from what I understand, there was another offer that I'm actually probably going to get on a call with him later because I think it's very similar to what y'all are trying to accomplish, which is helping people get their foot in the door, going through the application process. But at the end of the day, I think if my main goal was to be on that high-ticket closing side of things, and this is a stepping stone from the other thing that I watched, it may be. I'm not really sure. Yeah. But it just depending.
How do you feel about them rambling like this, Joel?
For the most part, I do shut it down when, especially if they're talking about their background. This guy specifically, I was like, oh, this might be a super early DQ because he might want to get into high ticket sales. There may have been confusion. So I kind of let him ramble. And then after that, I was like, well, are you want to get into high ticket sales? What do you exactly want to do?
Okay. I think what could aid you, I mean, obviously I can watch more calls just to see what this looks like on a regular basis, but the more seamless the start of the call is, the better. The more leverage you have, the more control you have, the more leadership you take at the beginning of the call, the better the rest of the call is going to be in comparison. So if you start the
Okay.
call by letting them ramble and they're not even really answering the question, they're kind of going all over the place, and that's a consistent issue, I would remove this question personally.
That I'd asked him about if he had what his thoughts were on
He
the video.
watches the video, that's great. Well, let me ask you this. Are you reaching out to them via your personal phone before they get on the call, like night
Yeah,
before?
and I asked him if they watched it.
If you can add this, if you're not doing it already, ask them to send 2 takeaways from the training in text before
Okay.
they even get on the call.
Okay. That sounds actually really good. I should do that.
So for context, I'll give you what my SOP is on a different offer. So this is for Talon. So that's the first message, and the second message. The third one is the VSL, and this is the fourth one. But it says, can you go through those videos? Would love to know what your 2 biggest takeaways are from watching them. And then
Okay.
that way they're giving me the takeaways in text, and I'm not using it because I care like what they think about it. I'm getting them in the habit of submitting to me before the call even happens. And at the end of the day, he doesn't need more information about what tech sales is or how it works. More information doesn't equal him being less hesitant and taking the step.
Yeah.
The whole call is around like, what's your goal? What have you actually done? And then getting him to take the ownership, right? Where it's like, this is my life. These are my choices. I haven't stepped up over the last 2 years that I've wanted this. My way of thinking, my beliefs are in the way, and I'm willing to overcome those and put those to the side and think differently and act differently going forward. That's what the whole call is about.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for this guy, it came across to me as I want to get there. I just got to figure out the right vehicle, because he looked into high ticket sales. He looked into this, and he also looked into like a financial 9 to 5 that he didn't want.
Yeah, totally. It's just analysis paralysis. He's
Yeah.
afraid to take the wrong step.
Depending on what opportunities this could land, versus the likelihood of going through that and me never landing the high ticket role is, I think, what I would probably be deciding. But that being said, no, I watched the video. There wasn't really anything about it that like deterred me as far as like the desire eventually, that I know that my heart probably would be on a high ticket closing. Okay, cool, man. So yeah, this is a little different. Might not be for you then.
Yeah, well, I would need context. What does he even mean by high ticket sales? Because we're assuming that he's talking about our industry, but I don't necessarily know. High ticket sales is a universal term. Like
Yeah.
when
I
you
kind
sell a
of
car,
assumed that at first.
that's a high ticket sale when you sell a car. So it's like, I don't necessarily know which direction this guy's even talking about right now.
Because high ticket sales and tech sales are totally different. As I'm sure you know, I'm in high ticket sales myself. Obviously, like, this is a coaching offer. I love my job. I get to see people change their lives. I can understand why you would want to get into high ticket sales, assuming it's something like a coaching offer, even if it's not as cool. But
Bro, you're freaking confident for an 18-year-old. You're really confident. You're talking to this grown man. I don't know how old this guy is. He looks close to 30. But the confidence, I appreciate that. It's good.
I appreciate that,
your
man.
heart's
Yeah,
kind
I
of
had somebody
leaning more towards.
like he asked how old I was or something like that. He was wanting to explain something. He was like, "How old are you, by the way?" I said 18. He was blown away.
Yeah. Well, it's how you show up. It's what
Yeah.
comes out of your mouth. Age is a
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. It's
With
the
high ticket
standing
sales,
desk, bro.
100%. Yeah, you say that.
Well, it is, but I don't know. I think that right now, that's really competitive to get into, and I think a lot of the same struggles I would have would multiply if I'm trying to, get in front of somebody and convince them that, I'm the right fit for that role. Whenever I really don't have any high ticket experience, other than like not the experience that I think they would consider experience. And yes, I've sold high ticket things. It's been in person, it's been door to door, but it's just I'm kind of in between. So if like there's a stronger likelihood in the next 30 to 60 days I could land an SDR role, I'm probably doing that versus facing the maybe more of a longer term goal of being a high ticket salesperson. Okay, so when it comes to that, I honestly, like, sometimes, like, and no offense to you, and it's kind of almost backwards. Some people get into high ticket sales first and then tech sales, and there's nothing wrong with high ticket sales whatsoever. The main reason why people like to get into tech sales, though, and I'm not here to try to sell you on tech sales. I just want to tell you the difference. I don't care which way you go. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I genuinely just want to help you make the best decision for yourself, and that's not what I do. Like, no sweat. The reason why most people go tech sales is because it has base pay as well as like benefits, health insurance, all those types of things. Whereas 99% of the time with high ticket sales, you're not going to get any of that. It's going to be commission only. Some of them have base pay. It's 1099, and you don't have health insurance. You don't have benefits. Like I said, like for me, I'm in high ticket sales, right? I work with Jack. I'm a closer for him. I don't get health insurance. I don't get benefits. And it's 1099. I pay my own taxes. I get paid really well. But at the same time, I don't have the base pay benefits of tech sales. But for me, I'd rather be in high ticket sales because this is where the Lord wants me, and I get to see people genuinely change their
You
lives.
see, all this talk, this is a lot of talking. So what I would do differently is, it's like, well, typically when people come to us, they're looking To make more money, to have more time, or have more freedom? Which of the three are you looking for specifically? And then we're
Okay.
just off to the races.
Hmm.
We're off to the races of, let me see if I can even help you achieve that.
Become the best version of themselves, and that's why I love
Because
what
he
I do.
doesn't care about you. He doesn't. He cares about him. So the quicker that we can get into what do you want? What is your goal? What have you tried? They can connect with that, right? They'll open up. And then the call is advantageous at this point because we're talking all about them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of the difference between the two. We specialize in tech sales. So if you really want to get into high ticket sales, if I were you, man, I would go find a coaching program that can place you into high ticket sales. In fact, I even work with somebody, if you want, I can refer you to him. He's great. That can
How
help
about
you
you,
get
by
into
the
high
way?
ticket sales and making 10, 15K a month without going into tech sales and then into high ticket. Just invest into a coach that can get you to high ticket sales where you want to get to, and just do that.
What I can say that I do appreciate about what you're doing is you're pushing them away. You're
Yeah.
being disagreeable. And if they sit on the call and they start reinforcing belief of no, I don't want to do high ticket. High ticket's hard to get into. I want to do tech sales. That's advantageous for us. So what I
Yeah.
will take away from this is great. The more disagreeable you can be, the more of a mindset of
Yeah.
how can I disqualify this guy? That's
And that's what
advantageous.
I walk into my calls with. I think it was just the way I did it. Maybe I can
Yeah.
work on.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll
Yeah,
send
'cause
you
I
a
didn't
call.
see.
Let me send you this call, Joel. This is from one of my morning meetings today. With
Okay.
Brandon Forbes' offer. And we have a closer named Kyle Dindy,
Oh yeah.
who's a beast. And he had the same mindset on this call of being super disagreeable. You'd gain a lot of value and insights from the questions that he's asking the person.
Good. Yeah. Basically, I think what I'm learning here is be disagreeable. Keep doing what I'm doing. Difference is shove them into the process, even though, because for him, I kind of stepped away because I was like, hey, this guy might be a different case. Let me step away from the general process.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I don't see.
Well, I think based on that information, the tech sales is probably a better fit. At least right now. I'm not. I think in the future it may be something to revisit, but I think that's what I needed to hear because I'm technically already in high ticket sales. Like I sell real estate, and I know that my business right now,
Yeah.
I've got a lot of commissions that are ready to be closed, but they may never close. I've got like 80 or 90,000.
Hey, everyone's got deals in the pipe. Everyone's got deals in the pipeline, but we look at the bank account, right? Like the bank account at the end of the month, that's all that matters.
That are just kind of waiting and shopping, and they may never do.
It's just like the guy who's like, oh yeah, dude, I'm really attractive. I know I could pick up any 10 that I want to. And it's like, well, where are the dates at? You dating?
Yeah.
No.
Anything. And a lot of that business is going to be like friends, family, and some other stuff. And it's definitely like a part-time gig, even though the money's pretty good. So that being said, I think if I could sell 8 or 10 houses a year part-time, like off the clock while I'm not a tech sales guy, then I would be making really good.
Because we're 5 minutes in and I'm like, what's your goal, man? Like, what's the
Yeah,
goal?
it was like so back and forth. I was like, oh, finally, now I get it. So you want to do this part-time while doing something more stable full-time. And it took me a while to get to that point.
It's okay. Makes sense.
Good money and also reap the benefits of having benefits and things like that through.
Got it. So basically, what you're looking for right now is to find a vehicle where you can make the income you want to make while you're building up the real estate on the side. Is that what I'm hearing? Or
No, not necessarily. I think if I were entered into tech sales, it would be a career path and it would be something I stuck with. I think the real estate would just be a wealth building tool for me and a more of a extra thing. It wouldn't be trying to be full time at both, if that's what you're asking.
yeah, no. What I was saying is, I was saying maybe you get into tech sales, build up capital, have real estate part time, and then eventually go into real estate full time.
No, I mean I'm full time right now, but what I'm saying is that like there's some volatility at least in my business that if I could even that out.
Yeah. So real estate's very volatile. Meaning like he may have a month where he does 30 grand off of a commission, but then he goes 3 or 4 months with nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've learned that.
the market's
From
very
these.
volatile. He's totally dependent upon external factors, not internal factors. So no matter how good he gets at real estate and like selling, he's still dependent on the market. So that's part of why he's looking into another vehicle. But the whole idea here is we need to get a big enough goal from him where he commits to, I want to do this full time. Like my end goal is full time. I don't want to be dependent upon the market. I want to make money based on my skill sets.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what he's telling me is I want to get out what I put in. I think that's what he told me on 3 calls today. So blending together a little bit.
I don't think I would ever miss like being full-time real estate. I think that, working full-time.
Yeah, what is it about real estate, Zach, that has you interested in potentially changing directions or potentially making a shift into a new vehicle? Because then
Yeah.
that's where he tells me, oh, it's volatile. Oh, it's dependent on the market. Oh, it goes up and down. It's not consistent. That's where the problem comes out.
In a grind like tech sales, and then kind of when I'm able to help my friends, family, and some of the people referring to me, that's awesome. But
Because that bridges into, well, okay, and it being volatile, what's so bad about that? Like, help me understand the context here. Because then he may lead into, well, I have a family, or I want to have a family, or I have kids, or I want to have kids, or like, in order to take that step and provide, I need some more consistency.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I even did ask him that. And I think that's where I could tell there was a bit of resistance before I pitched, and I should have called it out. But I feel like with him, I was worried about going in circles or repeating myself or repeating some of the same questions like I have before, because that's where I pissed off my 2 calls yesterday. I ended up DQing one early on, and my other one didn't close and said that we were going around in circles because it felt like I was asking the same question, like, well, what's so bad about that? Like, why are you actually want to make a change? And like, obviously, I'm here to make a change. This, and that.
Yeah.
You know.
It's okay. Well, I have to watch the specific calls of what's being said. Maybe we could do that on the if you're able to make the 11 a.m. or one of the calls tomorrow, we could watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually block because one of my calls canceled for that time slot, so I decided to fill it back up with that call. I'll be on the 11 a.m. CST tomorrow.
Then we'll watch that call, and I can give you some insight as to how that may have happened.
Perfect. Which one, the 20-minute DQ or the one that actually went through?
I would pick the one where they were getting pissed off at you because you were asking the same question.
Okay, and obviously neither of them like blew up or anything like that. The second call I actually thought went well. I didn't even think we were shooting past each other, and they said something afterwards.
Okay, well, let's watch that one then.
Okay.
Because I can be the end all be all in terms of whether or not we could have done things better.
Sounds good.
I think at that point I would be thinking, hey, this is great. Like I'm kind of doing what I want to do and then a lot of extra money on the side.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, what was the appeal of high ticket sales? Why did you want to do that?
Well, I think for one reason it was at least entry level seemed a little bit higher if you were good at it. And that was really the only thing for me, because number one, I think I would get at it. I think I could, for the most part, hold meetings, overcome objections. I mean, I have to do that a lot right now anyway, like I said. So
but it'd be more on a business consumer level of like coaching programs, or you think something else for high ticket?
Well, I mean, I think it would depend on the offer or whatever it is. I got a lot of background in finance and real estate. So the offer that I interviewed previously was like a real estate syndication coaching offer. And so I think that I could at least, it may or may not be helpful, but I've got some of that background knowledge in the industry.
Okay. I guess
similar to tech sales. Like if there's a tech sales company out there that is like finance or real estate oriented, I think I would probably be a better fit for them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stuff like that out there, different softwares and all of that you can use in tech sales. I guess for you right now, are you in a spot where my camera's being weird? Am I focused?
Like, a little bit. You're right.
All right. Yeah. So I guess for you, are you kind of more in the discovery phase of figuring out what you want to do, or are you like, I know one of the questions on there is, would you take a tech offer if you got it?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm in discovery phase as far as figuring out what it would take to get that role, how much I'm gonna have to jack to get that role, and when I'd be able to start. I would prefer like one of the things I prefer is maybe to start after 30 days, just because if I'm switching gears, I want to get a lot of this real estate stuff off the plate where I'm not doing both. And so I think the decision is like if I went through the program and there was an offer that came through and we got hired, or an offer and it was a company I liked, and I would take it.
Okay. But as of right now, do you feel like you're ready to commit to, like, I'm not talking about just investment part, Apple, like time commitment, or do you feel like you need to get the real estate off your plate before you start working with Jack?
Unless an offer comes in today, I would say yes. Like what I'm saying is like, from what I understand, it's probably gonna take 30 or 60 days for that offer to come in anyway.
That's why the question about, well, what is it about real estate that has you wanting to push away from it is so important, because then he tells me in that moment it's volatile. It's not consistent. How long has it been that way for? How long have you been in real estate? How much are you making in real estate? All those questions add the leverage of I need to change. It's been like this for a while.
Yeah.
Excel company. So that time frame works well for me.
Okay, so you're talking about the offer itself, not Jack's offer.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The average time frame is around 38 days.
Yeah.
So that's why I asked. I thought you were talking about you wouldn't want to commit to Jack's coaching just yet. So just want to make sure I was understanding you there.
Well, I mean, it depends on if it's $20 or $200,000. I mean,
of course. And I'm not talking about just like investment, like the investment side. I'm just talking about being ready for the coaching stuff.
No, like if
got vacations or whatever. They're like, hey, I'm going to be out of the country for 2 months, whatever.
Oh,
or I can't do my job.
No, I'd have the time to go through it. And I think maybe misunderstanding your question, because like if you're saying if I got a job offer, I mean, I would accept it as far as like I wouldn't like today or next week, just because I need to kind of be planning on the transition. But no, there's no concern at all as being able to commit to the process of whatever to-dos or homework I would need to be doing next 30 days.
Cool, man. So what else can work best on these calls? I actually like to get a better understanding of your background, see if tech sales is a good fit for you, and if it is, we'll walk through Jack's coaching, see if that's me as well. And as you can see from the video, we're going to help a lot of people make that transition to tech sales, but at the same time, we have sort of not fit for everybody. So based on our conversation, I feel like it is. I'll walk you over and show you how it works. At the same time, I feel like we have sort of not a good fit for you. I'll still try to push you in the best direction I can. Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I know we talked about it a little bit, but do you know what you're looking for specifically by getting into tech sales?
That's the question. That's the opening question. You remove 10 minutes of fluff.
Yeah. yeah, we could have asked like, or even better, I feel like a better question would have just been like, what has you looking to get out of real estate? You
Yeah.
know?
What is it
So
about
I
real
could have,
estate, Joel, that has you wanting to maybe shift out of it or push away from it?
yeah, definitely could have asked that instead of why tech sales, because you already kind of answered that.
Yeah, exactly.
What I'm looking
Yeah.
for specifically, like as the role, or
It's like usually when people book these calls, it's for one of three reasons. It's they're wanting more money, more.
Yes, good job. That's what I'm talking about. This is the tempo that I would want you at, like 2 minutes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time.
Definitely could have done that sooner.
Because the reason they can be like, hey, dude, why you keep asking these questions is because they don't feel like we're making enough progress. Like there's not enough momentum to their goal. They feel
Yeah.
like you're in the way of the goal. So that's the only reason they would say that. If they don't see you as like an expert,
Yeah.
then they'll be frustrated by the questions that you're asking.
Yeah, for sure.
The quicker we can identify a problem, the better. Because if I
Mhm.
get him to tell me real estate is very volatile, I'm struggling to pay my bills, it's not consistent enough for me to be able to provide for my family, etc., he's not going to say something like that. Like, hey, dude, just get it to the point. Because now the
Yeah.
problem is out on the table. I can start to twist the knife on the problem and also get into the context of what has he actually tried to solve the problem.
Yeah,
Just like,
exactly.
More freedom. Which one would you say is for you?
I think I would probably be unique to where I don't really fall into those categories other than I'm attracted to the stability of being able to get paid for the work that I do. I'll give you an example. I've been working with this client. I've shown her probably 70 homes the last 2 or 3 months, and I've done a report, we've gone over inspections, we've terminated deals. I've gotten paid $0 for that work. And so that's kind
that's it. That's it, bro.
Yep.
of part of the nature of real estate. I still love it. I think it will still be beneficial and lucrative. But at the same time, as I'm wanting to achieve other life goals, mainly like stability and like relationships, it's a tough sell sometimes to say, hey, babe, I'm not getting paid for 3 months. But when I do, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So I think for me personally, on a personal level, there's a lot of things that would even out in my life if I had something that was good enough. That's, because I can go get a job at Starbucks, but I don't think that would really help my situation at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So financial freedom with the stability and
Yeah.
consistency that would come with a job like this.
Yeah.
So I guess like how long has that actually been a goal for you?
Only probably in the last 6 months as some of these
Okay.
personal relationships have been developing. And there's maybe a finish line towards a future with this person.
Yeah.
And I think that it would help out a lot if I'm having conversations with her dad about, well, how's this going to work?
Yeah.
I think more for personal reasons. It's not so much that if it was just me, I could tolerate the swings. I could tolerate making $0 for 3 months and making 80,000 1 month. But I just don't know if I want to continue that trend in a long-term relationship. So
yeah, for sure, man. And totally understand that and respect that. A lot of people I talk to, they're in car sales, working 8 hours a week, not sure when the next paycheck's coming in for their family, So I understand completely where you're coming from with that. Where are you looking to get to in terms of monthly income though? Like what's the goal for you?
I think 20,000 a month. And again, this is not. I understand this doesn't all come from tech sale, but
Right.
if I can sell 1 or 2 houses a month, I'm going to be close to that 12 or 15,000 number. And so if I'm working a full-time tech sales job, I would be hoping that it's going to be anywhere between 85 and 100 based on some of the videos I've seen.
Yep.
I think anything under 85, the time value of committing to that job may or may not be there.
Okay. Yeah. But usually target range is around 80 to 90K is usually the range of which roles you can help people. Sometimes even as much as 102K.
Yeah.
So right now you're wanting to make 20K a month. That's your main goal.
I think consistently. I think that eventually I want my worst month to be 20K.
Where do you actually want to get to though? Like what's your overall goal, I guess?
I think that over time, I think I could get busier in real estate, also refer it out so that I'm not actually working it.
Mm-hmm.
And that could get me to that 30 very quickly. I think if I was around the 30 to 40 number, I don't think I would ever, not that I wouldn't be aspiring for more, but I think that would be my number where I'm like, man, I'm rocking and rolling.
Yeah,
I think I'd be aspiring to do more always, but also I'm not, I don't think I would ever be discontent with that.
Yeah, for sure.
And in a lot of ways, that 15 to 20 number, I think would bring a lot of, like I said, it's the consistency part that I think would be helpful.
It'll let you kind of breathe, when the next deal is coming in. So, and I know right now, like you said, pay is really inconsistent, being commission only. But if you had to give me an average, what's your average monthly income looking like right now?
Probably like 8 to 12.
8 to 12K a month is usually the range.
Yeah, because my average sales price in here in Lubbock is like 250,000, but as of late, it's been much less than that. So if I close, 1 to 2 deals a month, it gets me close to that 7,500 to 12,000 a month, and that's kind of been the goal. I would take a lot of pressure off myself if I accept a tech sales role, and probably wouldn't work anything under like 300,000 as far as a home purchase, because then I would refer it to another agent and still get paid like the 2,500 referral commission. And I think over time, like I could turn that just into a referral machine where it's not necessarily me working it, but I can refer out. But if it's over 300,000, I'll probably take the weekend to show and work that deal, because that'd be a $9,000 to $12,000 transaction.
So you've had this goal for about 6 months, right? To have that consistency and stability in a career like tech sales.
Good job.
Yeah, I think so. That'd be good.
Okay. So I guess like what have you been doing over the last 6 months or so to put yourself in a position where you can make 20 to 40K
Bro,
a
you're
month?
dialed the hell in. This is exciting for me.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. I've been really using the new frameworks and all that.
Great.
Thanks, bro.
And that's not just with tech sales. Like, overall, what have you actually tried so far?
Well, I think I have doubled down on the real estate marketing,
Okay.
and that's been, like I said, it's been helpful, but also a little bit more stressful because you're spending
Yeah.
3,000 on the marketing, mainly through Zillow and other things. And so the transition I've been going through the last 6 months has been, I think maybe the best fit for me is to treat my friends and family and serve them well, and maybe get a job. And that would be my easiest, like being a part-time real estate agent. And I know most people do the opposite; they start off part-time and go full-time.
Yeah.
But I just think for me, my personality, I can help the people I want to help, and outside of that, I probably do need to be looking for something stable. But so over the last 6 months, I have been putting some feelers out there as far as what that would look like. I actually do have another guy that it's more of a like local job. It's like financial planning, and that was actually what my background is in. And so I think kind of weighing the pros and cons of, okay, I think it would be around the same price range as a tech sales job, but I think tech sales over time has better career growth as far as if I kill it, what opportunities may be awaiting me after that. I know that some of the opportunities like in financial planning, I could kill it, but I'm kind of stuck there until I'm forced back into a sales atmosphere where it's like, go call your friends and family and get them this, buy an insurance policy or a financial plan. And so that's like why I think the tech sales role, at least the way it's been presented, has been in my mind like something to take seriously.
Yeah. And how long have you actually known about tech sales for?
Probably, I mean, I've known of it. I don't know if I've really explored it that much until I signed up for the school thing. One of my buddies in Austin, I think, has some type of tech sales role, even though it may not be. After talking to y'all, I think I had an idea what tech sales was until, I assumed that all high ticket sales was tech stuff, but I guess it's not. But anyway, I think over the last 6 months, it's, from whenever I enrolled in the school community as well.
So you know about tech sales the whole 6 months you've had this goal for?
Yeah, I should have had this conversation 6 months ago.
That's why didn't you?
Yeah. Why? Why do you say that? I wouldn't say why didn't you? I would say why do you say that?
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time? The
So
thing that I
when he
said.
says I should have had this conversation 6 months ago,
Mhm.
you asked him why didn't you, which is going to put up
Mhm.
defenses. Instead, I would say,
Yeah.
why do you say that? Why do you say that
Yeah.
you should have? Same question, just a bit different, and that allows him to expand upon the thought.
Yeah.
Not defend himself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got this conversation.
Yeah, I knew
with us
that
6
would
months
probably
ago.
come across that way. But I was like, I think it'll still land, but
Yeah, why do you say that? So when you say that you should have had the conversation 6 months ago, I guess, why do you say that?
yeah.
It's what we want is to reinforce the belief. We don't want him to defend himself. I just need more context.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think part of me thought like I'll just get through this community curriculum and that'll probably be good enough for me. And then after working through it, I think between then and now, I was hesitant to take on a role because in a lot of ways it's not giving up real estate, but it's kind of conceding that I'm not going to be a full-time real estate agent. And I think the mindset of am I really ready to kind of say I'm not was there. And up until this point, I decided like I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine.
Yeah, and I can understand that, man. I understand where you're coming from. It's a big decision to make. It's an entire career change. I mean, how long have you been doing real estate for?
Like 8 years.
8 years. Wow.
And it's been, and like I said, I've loved it. It's been rewarding, but at some point, I don't know if the next 8 years is going to get me where I want to go.
Yeah, right. So I guess like over these last 6 months.
Okay, let me see if I can help you with these word tracks. Because I've written something similar to this in the past, talking about people just going through free stuff.
Okay.
Let me see if I have it in my data.
What I've really noticed is that actually I've had a really good time with people who have been burned in the past. 3 of my last calls all closed. Noel, he was a call from 2 weeks ago that I had a follow up with recently. But he had been burned in the past. He's spent 15,000 on a mortgage thing and made no money. And then he almost invested into a tech sales course that would have charged him $500 every month for 5 years, which would be 30 grand. Which obviously was ridiculous. And so he was like scared, and he signed up yesterday. And the call that I had this morning he's tried 2 different things, and neither of them worked out the way that he thought they would. And then this last guy had invested into Amazon FBA, invested 3 grand into himself. It didn't work out after a year. He had to shut it down. And then he did life insurance. He's like, man, they were selling me the dream, and I started and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I feel like those people I've actually had a really good time with.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that you're starting to overcome this. I think those people are the easiest to help because they're not arrogant and prideful, usually.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
being honest. So this is a word track. It's just an example framework of like not only what the prospect says, but our responses. ChatGPT helps with this of like giving me ammo. But anyway, so this is like a guy who says, "Oh, it's too much money," which is what this guy would say usually. Oh, it's just I can't afford it. It's too much money. It's like it puts me in a bad
Yeah.
spot, etc. Like insert all the excuses.
He actually didn't
Um,
have a problem with the money.
I'm talking about specifically him just going through the free stuff, right? Like he's just what he said was, I've been going through the school community and I thought that was enough to get me to the position where I could get a job. Like AKA,
Mhm.
like I thought I could figure it out on my own. The analogy that you can use is like, okay, well, when we're building a house, right? Like I wouldn't want to build a house with walls that were being held together by duct tape, right? And that's kind of what you're doing when you're just going through all the free stuff. Like, yes, it's great, but at the end of the day, if you're just taking a piece from us and a piece from someone else and trying to just put it all together with duct tape, you're not going to have a very stable foundation, right? So the lie that he told himself was, I just figured it out. I don't need to pay someone else for the knowledge to streamline the process because I'm good enough on my own, which is pride. You see what I'm saying? So the whole idea is like, I need to connect that thought process of I can just figure it out and I'm just going to go through the free stuff to why he's stuck where he's at right now and get the commitment from him that he's willing to change and invest and look fear in the eyes and step forward anyway, regardless of whether or not the outcome's guaranteed. If I can get him thinking that way, then he's going to pay me.
Yeah. Yeah. And he even told me, like, dude, even if it was like 5 grand and I didn't land a job, like it's still, I want to do this kind of thing. I was so surprised when he didn't want to close. He said he wanted to think about it and make sure that this was really what he wanted to do before doing it, because this is a big investment and a career change and all that. So,
Yeah, this is too much money. I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, well, can I share a perspective on that? Well, it's ironic, right? Because when we talk about money, like preventing us from starting,
yeah.
what are we even learning how to get into tech sales for?
Yeah.
It's to make more
Yeah.
money.
That's the whole objection handling word track I got from Johnny's script from his
Yeah,
free stuff.
this is excellent. It's like, okay, is it fair to say that we don't have the money because we don't have the necessary skills to be able to close? We don't have the necessary knowledge to be able to land the role to where we can make the money and not because of anything else?
Yeah.
Because this whole mindset around like, let me just look at all the free content, where has that gotten us? Just
Yeah.
watching all the free videos. Well, I hear you, man, and that's where most people start, right? Just kind of looking at all the free stuff. But can you see how that way of thinking of just playing it safe and never really taking the jump because of money or whatever limitations we put on ourselves? Like, can you see how that's put in a position now where we're 8 years into real estate and we're not having an consistent income source and we're unable to pay the bills the way that we want to? Like, can you see that? You see what I'm saying? Like, I got to get him
Yeah.
to take the ownership on. Yeah, you're right. I should have done more. I've been making excuses. I haven't prioritized it. I've been scared to fail. So just be aware that I can send you that script for that. But
Yeah.
it's important that they take the ownership there.
Yeah.
What have you done so far to get into tech sales? Have you applied for jobs? Or anything like that, doing any
I
research?
a little bit. I mean, as far as what was provided in the school community, I have updated resume. I have updated LinkedIn. Like I kind of followed the bare bones of what I think you should be doing. And then, to be truthful, I think in a lot of ways that may have been what got me that ticket interview.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like it didn't hurt at all. To have some of that information updated.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, and it was encouraging. I mean, there was a lot of people that applied for that role, and
Yeah.
and so I have no doubt that having some of that feedback just from the school community was helpful. So I think now I'm starting to take it really seriously. Like you said, if I was offered a tech sales role, I would take it. And I think just kind of going through, well, what would it take to get the offer? What would it take to see it on paper? Is where I'm at now. And and I think some of it's just a testimonial stuff. It's like there's part of you that's like, well, the worst thing that would happen is I pay this guy $15,000 to go find me a job and I can't find one, or I find one and I hate it, or it's there's a lot of different things that can go into.
Yeah.
I think the willingness to have a conversation like this and contemplate it.
Yeah, I can understand that. And honestly, I respect the fact that
If he believed that, bro, he would have done it already. Hey, bro, I hear you. Like you're saying all the right things. Like, you're willing to take the step with or without a guaranteed outcome. But can I challenge you on that? Because if that was your belief, why haven't you done anything over the last 6 months?
Yeah, I feel like so like obviously I should not have just taken him as word for that. I feel like at the same time though, if I had said that, he would have been like, well, 6 months ago, I think he did tell me he was doubling down on real estate at the time. He may have said like, oh yeah, I just wasn't committed to tech sales yet.
Okay. But then that can lead us into, well, if it was guaranteed that paying the coach the 5 grand was going to get you to 120K a year income, you would have taken the step, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You would
that's true too.
prioritize that, right? It's like whenever I come to you and I'm like, hey, here's 10 grand, just take it. You wouldn't lack prioritization to do that, would you? Like you just
Yeah.
take the money. But the whole idea is like the biggest thing that holds people back from taking the step into tech sales or anything, high ticket sales, is the fact that it's not guaranteed to work. So it's much easier
Yeah.
to hold on to real estate and say, at least I'm good at this. At least I've produced with this in the past 8 years. This is comfortable than it is to step into the unknown and say, like, I'm betting on myself right now.
Yeah. And that's where the problem was, is I just assumed that he had the right mindset going into it. As soon as he said that, I was like, okay, great, I can move on.
Yeah, he's saying it. That's
Yeah.
exactly. But where's the action? So anytime they say something that sounds good, I'm like, well, let me look at the writing on the wall. Did they actually do something, or are they just
Yeah.
saying it?
That you contemplate.
That's why I would go back. Okay, well, that's the right belief to have. Can I challenge you on that? What's
Yeah.
kept you from doing something over the last 6 months? Because if all we do is talk about it and we have the right beliefs in our mind, but we don't follow through with the actions, like it would make sense why we're 6 months into this and we haven't made any real tangible progress.
Yeah.
All those things. Well, I would say 6 months was a long time to do all of that. At the same time, I respect that because there are people I talk to and they're like, I don't know if I want to do this. They're not really committed. So that kind of, I don't know, it's nice to talk to someone who's actually committed to something like this before you even talk.
So that's agreeable. That's like, hey, you're great. Let me rub you on your tummy and like tell you how awesome you are. So I would be challenging here because if he had that belief of like, well, dude, it's not gonna put me in a really bad spot, losing out on 5 grand. At least I did something. Then he would have taken the step prior to talking to you.
Yeah. And I think that's where I got the mix up, because with Itai, I see him doing that a lot where he's like, I want to commend that. And obviously I know I should do that.
We commend the good, we discipline the bad. When he says, oh, dude, it's just 5 grand, it's not that big of a deal, I need skill, but then he hasn't done anything, that's bad. So we would want to discipline that.
Yeah. I just didn't see it as bad was the problem.
It's okay.
Because I've done the same thing. I've invested in myself for my own high ticket sales expertise and skill set. And before I hopped on, I spent like a couple weeks researching this guy, figuring out whether or not I wanted coaching. And I was like, okay, I'm fully committed to pay this guy 7, 8 grand, whatever it might be, to come work for him or come work with him. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I appreciate that and I respect that. The fact that you wanted to make sure that this was something you wanted to do before you even hopped on. So have you applied for any tech sales roles, or was it just the updating resume?
Yeah, so that's the open door, is he talks and he doesn't commit. There's no action. He's scared to fail. That's the open door. It's a
Yeah.
lot of money to spend without a guarantee. But the issue here, the ironic thing is he's already operating in uncertainty, right? Like he doesn't know where his next paycheck is going to come from, but it's this false comfort. It's this false certainty because he knows real estate. He trusts real estate. He's never stepped out of real estate yet. He's been doing it for 8 years. So there's this it's like a toxic ex-girlfriend where it's like we had something so great, but it's not great anymore. But like we've had sex and like we've built all these memories together. I can't possibly step away from her because what if I do and the next girl's not like her?
Yeah. And that was his biggest concern. So I guess if you want to, we could go into the objections if we've kind of figured out the root cause of the problem of the call.
100%. This is good.
Mm-hmm.
Are not going to be enough to push you forward. That's why I like to ask, like, what happens if you don't make changes? Because when the times do get tough, and maybe you have your, who knows that people actually take action are the ones who get the best results. Like all those faces that you saw on the screen earlier took action on a call just like today. That's why they're so successful. So if you actually take action on a call just like today and put a line, Jack, let me do is send that 6K. Then let me take $1,000 off, make it a one-time 4.6K.
Cool. I mean, I like that price. I think it's kind of right in the middle of where I needed to be in my brain. And so I'm not against that at all. I just need,
I knew he was
Yeah, so what
forming
would next
some
steps
form
look like
of
if-
excuse here. I was like, he's going to give you some bull crap.
Totally. I love it.
if I said yes, let's go.
Yeah. So next step.
Wait, what did you say?
I think it's kind of right in the middle of where I needed to be in my brain.
Like, what would next steps look like?
And so I'm not against that at all. I just need,
Dude, when he says stuff like this, Joel, hey man, you sound a bit hesitant, which is it's totally fine.
Mhm.
What's coming up?
Yeah.
What's coming up?
in
that moment, he's so uncertain. It's like, dude, what's coming up? You want to take the lead on it. Because if you do it right, he'll just tell you the objection. You flush the objection out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what would next steps look like if I said yes, let's go?
Yeah. So next steps is that
Yeah, he doesn't need that information. He needs to commit. So he
Yep.
thinks like more information equals less hesitation.
Mhm.
So I would say something like that. Well, hey, brother, like more information doesn't necessarily equal less hesitation. And I can tell you're a bit uncertain. What's actually coming up for you?
Yeah.
That's the line. And then he just says, yeah, it's just a lot of money or whatever he says. But now we're making progress on the objection.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
people want that, right? Like you're aware, dude. He's uncertain. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. I didn't really know
After
what to do. I hated how I ended the call. Just like,
That's
peace,
what builds
bro.
trust, though. Because you know
Yeah.
him better than he knows him,
Mhm.
right? That's why we trust the doctor. The doctor knows the human body better than you do. That's why you go to the doctor.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in these moments when you can tell he's nervous and he's fearful and you take the lead on it, hey, dude, I see that you're fearful. Expert frame, like your level of authority is raised. Now he's not going to say, oh, well, I'm not comfortable sharing what I have in my checking account because you're the expert.
goes
Yeah.
through, you get a link to join. Have you ever used Slack? Yeah. Okay. So you're gonna get a link to join Jack's Slack workspace, and I'm gonna put you and Jack in a group chat. I'm gonna send you a 4-step checklist. First thing's gonna be just a welcome video from Jack. Second one is a coaching agreement that kind of outlines our expectations from you, and also
Because throughout this entire time, bro, without him telling you, he's thinking in his own head, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. I don't know if I can make. He's
Mhm.
not even listening to what you're saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to know what the next steps are. He needs to know what the step he's taking right now is going to be. Is he going to commit or is he not?
Yeah.
That's why when he's like, what are the next steps from here? I'm like, hey, that's the easy part. Before we even get into that, because more information, it doesn't necessarily equal less hesitation, right? And I can tell that you're a bit uncertain, which is totally fine. What's coming up for you? What's coming up?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on your team, man. I'm on your team. What's coming up?
Yeah.
what you can expect from Jack, as well as the coaching packet that's going to have all the resources that you're going to need to learn how to do this, like the resume and your first steps, as well as an orientation video for you to watch. And then after you do all those 4 steps, we're going to schedule a 20-minute onboarding call with Jack where he can formally introduce you to the program. And then after that, you get access to Jack's calendar, so you can book calls with him if you need to hop on a call with him, and you immediately have one-on-one chat with Jack.
Okay. So who do I reach out to when I'm ready to do that?
Ready to do what?
Like wire the money and get started. Like who would I reach out to do that?
That would be me. Usually we do it on the call. Like all those people, like I said before, on that screen took.
But you see how you avoid this? When you like address it immediately, like this guy's uncertain, he's already looking for a way out, and we address it, then he's not going to say stuff like this. Like, hey,
Yeah.
dude, can you wrap it up in an email and send it over to me? Like, I already know he's uncertain. Let's just talk about the uncertainty.
Yeah. And I couldn't quite figure out how to actually talk about the uncertainty because he was so closed off at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, hey, I'm done with the sales process. You did a good job. I'm going to head out. And we don't want, that's why we get all the leverage though in the buy-in. And I don't know what the future face of the consequence look like, but
Yeah.
he's looking for a way out right now. This is on us.
Yeah.
Action on this call.
Oh. So you wouldn't be interested next week if I said I'm ready and I'll send you the money?
I mean, next week it would be the 5,600. May I ask why you're wanting to wait till next week?
Like I said, I appreciate it. I love this pitch. I want to do it. I just need to, if I'm really going to do that and spend that much money, I'm not going to do it today. It'll have to be probably next week at the earliest. And if you're against, me texting or emailing saying, hey,
See how he's getting defensive?
Yeah.
Yeah. He just feels like he's being sold. I'm like, hey, man, I'm on your team, dude. I'm on your team. But just like you joining the program, right? Like you making this investment into yourself, you're going to have a certain expectation of what our follow through looks like, right? Like
Mhm.
you're going to expect coaches to show up, get in the trenches with you, identify the bottlenecks, solve those, no matter how long it takes, right? Like that's the standard, is that we're going to be excellent and we're going to show up and we're going to hold you accountable. Would that be fair to say that? Yes. So how is this any different? How's this any different? Because this is the first difficult decision of many. If we bow out and quit the second it gets uncomfortable, you and I, dude, we're not getting at the top of the mountain. So are you looking to be held accountable? Are you looking for help? Do you want to become resourceful? Do you want to find a way to make it work? These are the types of questions that we're asking right here, right now. I got to change this mindset. I'm not here to sell you, man. Whether you join
Yeah.
or not doesn't affect me. We had 35 students enroll last month. We don't need your business.
Yeah.
But based on what we talked about and you sharing that you're current income stream is very inconsistent, and it's been 6 months that you've been wanting to make a change and you haven't done that. Like, if we know we need to make a change and that's what's required to get us where we want to be, and we don't actually commit to making the change, what type of future are we setting ourselves up for?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's important. Accountability starts now. It doesn't start tomorrow. We've been saying it's going to start tomorrow. We've been saying we're going to do something in the new year.
Yeah.
We haven't committed.
Yeah.
Hey, Joel, I'm ready. We're less than the money. Totally fine with that. We can part ways, but that's probably how this is going to go down.
I'm not totally against that. May I ask, like, why you're waiting next week? Is it that you maybe need to move somebody around?
Hey, every good diet starts on a Monday, my friend. And the logistics, that's the easy part. The investment, it doesn't have to be upfront. Many different ways we can break it up. Can I ask, before we even get into that, do you even feel like what we walk through can get you to goal? Because that's the most important part. Now you're moving in on the objection. It doesn't even matter what he says.
Yeah.
Get into your process. You don't want to ask him, well, what's making you want to leave the call? That's not the process. The process is diffuse certainty, then move into logistics, then personal story, right? Overcome fear, different
Yeah.
analogies. That's the process.
Yeah. My personal story actually closed someone this morning, which was great.
Freaking beast.
Because he told me, he was like, yeah, dude. He's like, I could tell he wanted to do it. He's like, this is a big investment. I was like, yeah, man, totally understand that. I'd be concerned if you weren't nervous on this call right now. And I told him, like, dude, can I share a couple of perspectives on that? Because he also told me he's really into soccer and he knows about some athletes. One thing that I really liked that he said was, like, successful people don't get there unless they actually get uncomfortable and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He told me about all these soccer players that moved countries for a better opportunity. I was like, dude, those soccer players that you're talking about, it costs a lot of money to switch countries and you're burning all the boats behind you. And then the other perspective is personal story. It's like, okay, man, I think I can do it. And then he closed a firm.
Heck
So
yeah.
it's
Heck yeah,
awesome.
he did.
I'm so proud of that guy. He's my age too. I love talking to people my age. He's 20 years old. And I love talking to people like that because usually, first off, they don't have the ego, but second off, they are really, like, coachable.
I love it, bro. It's true. Yeah, those
Yeah.
were the most fun calls. The second they get on the call and they're respectful, they're
Yeah.
humble, they know how to communicate how they actually feel, you know you're going to have a great call.
Yep. Yep.
Under.
Probably, and that's really where my comfort level needs to be. It's not, it's like I said, I'm money, but it's not a small amount of money, and I'm not just gonna.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I would have known what
What do you say about his comfort level?
it's, me texting or emailing saying, "Hey Joel, I'm ready. We're less than the money." Totally fine with that. We can part ways, but that's probably how this is gonna go down.
I'm not totally against that. May I ask, like, why you're waiting next week? Is it that you maybe need to move somebody around?
Because anytime you ask, like, why are you doing what you're doing here, it just raises defenses. Like, he's already looking for a way out. So I need to get traction on the actual objection, which we haven't gotten yet. That's why in the moment when I said he's uncertain, you got to address the uncertainty. That's vitally important.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely should have done that.
Around or
Probably, and that's really where my comfort level needs to be. It's not, it's like I said, the money, but it's not a small amount of money, and I'm not just gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you said it wasn't about the money, like this is too much money. That's what this is.
Yeah.
So it is this.
Like I said, I knew if I would have known what the amount was last week, I probably, just depending on how things went, would have been ready today. But to be honest, I listened to the whole thing just to get an idea of what it was going to cost and what it was going to mean to me. So I was never doubting that y'all would be able to help or not. It's just whether it's $500 or $50,000. I'm just trying to decide if it's worth to do that, to go through the trouble, or just to accept the job offer I have on the table right now. And I think I need to figure that out.
Yeah, we need that to come out here. We need to know, like, dude, what has you interested in potentially making a change, shifting directions? When he says, oh, dude, I did a high ticket offer call and they gave me an offer, like, I'm like, why not just take the offer, man?
Yeah.
If it was so good, such a good opportunity, you would have taken it.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be speaking right now. Like, we need to close the door on those objections early.
Yeah.
Out because I don't think that 5,600 is that price.
Okay. I guess, like, which option sounds better to you?
Best option is for me to get my stuff together and kind of see where I'm at in a couple weeks and then give you a call.
Okay. Like, in terms of the different options, you got that high ticket sales that you could try.
No, we're not doing high ticket anymore. We're just going to focus on this.
All right. So you got this, and then you got the financial job. So I guess, like, which one would you rather do?
We're going to do some sales, yeah.
Okay. So I guess, like, what is it specifically you're wanting to actually go and think about?
Well, not just saying.
Okay, so it's kind of burned at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
this
where I was
guy's
like, it's
pissed.
overcooked.
He's just a pissed off guy, and he's just pissed off that his life sucks. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
The framework is really important. Like getting the objection out early, like when he says, yeah, just like, give me the next steps from here. That guy's not certain. Like he's not ready
Yeah.
to rock and roll. So just being a little bit better of a listener and a communicator in those moments would really help. But maybe tomorrow, in tandem with looking at that type A call where people are starting to get frustrated, if we could watch the future pace and the consequence with this specific guy, I can give you some more insights as to why he may have been looking for a way out rather than looking for a
Yeah.
way out.
I think we could just maybe go over the future picks with that one call. If we have time, maybe go over the other one, just because I think it's been rather the same and it's been a little different. So it might be good to just go over the one with Joel. That his name is Joel also.
Okay.
So
Cool, dude. Well, overall, I love the way that you're showing up, the presence that you have. You're very confident for your age. The frameworks are great. The questions you're
yeah,
asking for time of getting your calls reviewed and practicing and role playing with other students, that's where you're going to get better at digging in certain sections because you're getting the high level framework correct. It's just digging on certain answers that aren't quite clear, that are also not conducive to them paying us, challenging those beliefs. Is what's going to help them persuade themselves that they need to go with tech sales now rather than just
yeah,
continue to look around for other jobs.
yeah.
Well, this is good. I'm impressed,
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you.
and I'm excited.
Me too.
This month.
Yeah, dude. This month's gonna be crazy. I'm already at 2K. It's 2040 because Jack's paying me an extra $100 for 30 closes to pay me $3,000 back for investing with you. So
Sick. I love it.
yeah, man, it's awesome.
I love it. I'm proud of you, dude.
Thanks,
Really.
bro. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, man.
See you
Also, I saw that you got engaged,
I did. I
dude.
sure did.
Congratulations, man. When was that?
That was Friday night.
Dude, that's so dope, man. Congrats to you guys.
That was good.
Yeah, for sure, man. One of my friends is getting married here in a couple months. It's crazy because he's my age.
Really.
So, yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
It is a blessing from the Lord. So
100%, bro. 100%. Yeah, dude. I bet. I'm excited for you, bro. It's awesome. Congrats.
if we don't do a mastermind with Brandon in person before then, you'll definitely get a wedding invite.
Dude, I would love to come. That'd be amazing.
Sick. Well, you know where to find me. Good
Yeah.
call. And I'll see you tomorrow on the group call.
Yeah. Appreciate you being flexible, bro. I'm really sorry to move so many times. I feel bad.
I make time for people who are resourceful and invest in themselves.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Good stuff.
So I will see you tomorrow. I will be on that call at noon. Wait. All right.
Good luck,
Have a
bro.
good one, man.
Later.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.